Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Sorry, I'm gonna miss class today. I'll miss everyone, but I'll be back on Thursday, and we'll continue with our notes and do an activity when I return to class. Okay. Today we're gonna talk about compound inequalities, and these are real simple. It's what we've been covering as far as inequalities go, except we're gonna talk about having two or more inequalities that are graphed together on the same line. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit slow today, talk a little slower and write a little slower, so hopefully you guys have time to keep up with the notes for those of you that are writing in your notebook. There are two types of compound inequalities. The first type are OR. We call them OR. And what that means is you're going to either be going one way or the other. So we can think about it like this. There's two inequalities. Here we have a closed circle at -4, and it's going to the left. So that inequality is going to be x is less than or equal to -4. Over here we have an open circle going to the right. So that one is going to be x is greater than 1. The or part is like this space that's in the middle. Okay, so you have two inequalities, and we would write that as two inequalities. X is less than or equal to -4, or x is greater than 1. Okay? There's a new notation or another kind of notation that we can use. Instead of writing or, we're going to draw this kind of, it's called the union. It looks like a capital U, but it's not a U. It's a union symbol. Okay, stands for union. And the way we're going to write it is we're going to write this inequality from the left right here, and then we're going to write this one over here. And we're going to write those in interval notation like we learned day before yesterday. So we go from -infinity, we're looking at this one right here, -infinity to -4, parentheses. This one's closed circle, so it's a bracket. And on the other side, we have 1, infinity. Parentheses here because it's an open circle. And that's how we write a or compound inequality in interval notation. Now, when we're solving or inequalities, we're going to solve each part, then graph the number on the line, show the solutions. It's super easy, guys, okay? So first I'm going to look at this. Here's the or, so I'm going to draw a line kind of right down the middle to keep it separated. And then we're going to solve these like we have been doing in class. I'm going to solve this one first, and then I'm going to solve this one second. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to get rid of this -4. Then I'll have 3x less than or equal to 10 minus 4 is 6. I'm going to get rid of this 3 by dividing by 3 by both sides. That cancels out, and I'm left with x is less than or equal to 2. On this other side, I'm going to work on this one. This one's very easy. All I have is 5x that I need to get rid of the 5, so I divide both sides by 5. That cancels, and I'm going to be left with x is greater than 9. So let's go ahead and graph these two. For this one, x is less than or equal to 2. So I've got 2, closed circle. And I'm going to make a little bit of a side note before I color in the graph, okay? X is less than or equal to 2, so that means it's going to be all of this guy, okay? It's all of this guy together. And on the other side, x is greater than 9. So I'm going to say x is greater than 9 with an open circle, and it's going this way. Okay? So as you can see, they're kind of going in opposite directions, right? And the interval notation, remember, we're going to do this guy first, which is from negative infinity to 2 with the closed circle, so it's a bracket in parentheses. We write the union, which means or, okay? The union means or. And then we're going to look at this one, which is 9 to infinity with an open circle. Okay. So like I said, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We're kind of just putting things that we've already learned. We're just putting two things together. Let's take a look at number 2. So remember, I'm going to draw a line down the middle, separate the or, and I'm going to solve this first. So I've got minus 6, those cancel, and is less than or equal to negative 1. Over here, I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. That will cancel. And I have 9n is greater than 43 minus 7 is 36. I'm going to divide both sides by 9. That cancels. And then I've got n is greater than 4. Okay, and then let's graph them. N less than or equal to negative 1. Closed circle. I want to use a different color. I think the blue's kind of hard to see. And then the second one is n greater than 4. And that's going to be an open circle. And remember our interval notation. So on this right here, we start at negative infinity and go to negative 1 with a closed circle, so it's a bracket. And then the union. Over here we've got 4 to positive infinity with an open circle, so it's parentheses. Okay. So far, I think these are pretty straightforward. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next two. Actually, I'm just going to do one more for you guys. How do I do this? Let's close this. Oops, sorry here, guys. Give me a sec. So remember, draw the line. That's my or. I'm going to solve each inequality separately. So on this one, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Those cancel. I've got negative 3y is less than or equal to negative 15. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3. And remember, anytime I multiply or divide by a negative, I have to flip the sign. Flip the inequality. Okay. Those cancel, and then I'm left with y greater than or equal to negative 15 divided by negative 3 is positive 5. So I'm going to graph that. Y is greater than or equal to 5. Close circle. Remember, I like that close circle. And greater than, so it's to the right. The second inequality, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Those cancel. 10y less than or equal to negative 30. Y is less than or, let me do this. Divide both sides by 10. Y is less than or equal to negative 3. Negative 3, close circle. Less than, so I shade to the left. And that's it. Now I'm going to write these two ends in interval notation. I'm going to start with this guy first. I'm going from negative infinity. I stop at negative 1 with the closed circle here. Okay, I stop at negative 1. What's going on? I think my laptop froze. Okay, guys, let me see if I can fix it. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my laptop. It kind of froze there. Okay, so we're going to go from -8 to -1. It is... What's going on? Still not working. What the heck is going on here? Okay, so I don't know what's going on with this little square here. I don't know how that got there. I don't know how to take it off, but let's try to write around it. So let's look at the inequality to the left. We're going to go from -infinity to -3, bracket, parentheses, union, not a U, union. Then on the other side, we're going to have 5 to infinity. Close brackets, close circle, so we do bracket and then parentheses. That's our interval notation. That's it for this section. What I want you guys to do is work on number 4 and number 6 on your own. And don't worry about number 5. Okay. I'm going to check number 4 and number 6 when I come back on Thursday. Okay. Once you've had enough time, pause the video, work on number 4 and 6. Then when you're done, continue the video and move on to type 2. Type 2 are and inequalities. Okay, so we just covered or inequalities. Now we're going to talk about and inequalities. Let's take a look at this number line. We have a closed dot here. So that's x greater than or equal to -2, because the line's going this way to the left. Then we have an open dot here, and it's going to the left. So that's going to be x is less than 5. So you've got two inequalities. X is greater than or equal to 2, and x is less than 5. On the interval notation, these are a little bit different. So we look and we see that we've still got, let me move this. Let me see if I can move this. No, I can't. Okay, let me try something else. That's our stop, and that's our start. So we're going to write -2 to 5. On the left, we have a closed circle, so it's a bracket, and on the right, we have an open circle, so it's a parentheses. And that's it. Because the solutions to an and inequality fall between two endpoints, we usually just write them in a different form. Okay. So remember, the example was we had two inequalities. X is greater than or equal to 2, and x is less than 5. So what we can do is write x in the middle, and then we're going to write two less than inequalities, and we're going to say x is greater than or equal to 2, but less than 5. Okay, so that's called the condensed form. This is a way that we can write it so it's very clear to understand where the two endpoints are. So basically, these are the endpoints, and then we've got the variable in the middle. You can read this on your own, and let's look at a couple of examples. We're going to do the same steps as we did for the or. We're going to draw a line down the middle, and we're going to say this is the and. Okay. What I want to show you guys in a bit here is we're going to solve this equation first. Then we'll come back and solve this one. So let's see. For the first one, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Then I'll have 2x greater than -12. Divide both sides by 2. I'm going to have x is greater than -6. Okay. This one I'm going to mark it. x at negative 6 with the open circle, and it's greater than now. But this one, before I do write it on the number line, I want to kind of just indicate that it's going to go this way. And then for the second equation, or the second inequality, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Those cancel. I've got 8x less than 15. I'm sorry, that's plus. We're adding 2. So it's 32. Then I divide by 8. Then I have x is less than 4. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to do 4 with an open circle. These colors are hard to see. And this one's less than, so it's going to be going this way. Now you see this area in between where they overlap? Okay, where these two arrows overlap? This is where we're going to graph it. And those are our 2 endpoints. So we're going to write negative 6 x less than inequalities, and then 4. So what this is saying is it's saying x is greater than negative 6, but less than 4. Okay, and that's it. This is pretty simple stuff, I think. Okay, if you have questions, you can ask me on Thursday, or you can send me a message in Schoology, and I'll try to answer it for you if I can. Okay, otherwise we can go over these on Thursday. So I'm going to write my hand. Minus 1 from both sides. 2w less than or equal to 10. I'm going to divide by 2. Those cancel, and I've got w less than or equal to 5. I'm going to graph that. I've got 5 with a closed circle. And I'm going less than. So I'm just going to kind of start the line, but I'm not going to go too far until I know where the other endpoint is. Let me solve this second inequality and figure out where that second endpoint is. Minus 1, negative 5w less than 40. Divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5. W is less than 40 divided by 5 is, 40 divided by negative 5 is negative 8. So my second endpoint is negative 8. And remember, right here, I just caught a mistake. Right here, when I divide it by this negative 5, I need to flip this inequality symbol to the other direction. So this becomes w is greater than negative 8. So I'm going to go this way. So those are my 2 endpoints. I'm going to shade this part of the number line. Interval notation are my 2 endpoints. We just talked about that. Negative 8 less than x less than 5. Okay. I'm going to do one more example. Number 9. This one's kind of different. Okay, we're going to do something a little bit different here. We already have these 2 inequalities. So it's almost kind of like already an interval notation, but we've got this negative 1 that we have to get rid of. So what we're going to do is on this one, we're going to draw a line under each inequality symbol. I want to get rid of this 1 because I want to get this a by itself in the middle. So I'm going to add 1 to cancel this, but whatever I do in the middle, I have to do to both sides of the inequalities, to the left and to the right. So then I'm going to have negative 2, and I'm sorry, that's a plus 1. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1, less than or equal to a, less than or equal to 7. And that's it. This is actually already in an interval notation, so we can draw that down here. And then these are our 2 endpoints, negative 1 and 7. Negative 1 less than and equal to, so it's a closed dot. 7 less than and equal to, closed dot, and everything is going to be in between these 2 points. So that's what we shade on the graph. Okay. What I want you guys to do is work on number 10 on your own, and 11. You can work with your groups, Work together, talk to your buddies next to you, and see if you can get the answers for 10 and 11. I'm going to check those when I come back on Thursday. Don't worry about doing number 12. Okay, those are the notes for today. I hope you all have a good afternoon, and we'll see you all on Thursday.